So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are starting off the week back in the Lebron era, and today it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. This is going to be a very interesting rebuild today. This Milwaukee Bucks team in real life actually won 35 games this year. The face of the franchise right now. It's kind of a second year Brandon Jennings. You got Andrew Bogut here as well. So there's a lot of work to be done with this team. We're clearly in a pre-Giannis era. Even really young Giannis isn't even here yet. So a lot of work to do today with this Bucks team, but I'd like to think we can get them a championship. And finally, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys. I've been seeing tons of video and series suggestions in my comment section over the past 3 to 4 videos. Of course, I do not want you to stop. Keep letting me hear them down below in the comment section, but a lot of ideas going through my head right now. I am very much looking forward to kind of getting into some of these ideas that you guys really are kind of looking for. So very excited about that. Once again, big thank you to you guys. We got a fun one today with the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and go over this Milwaukee Bucks roster. As I mentioned in the intro, they won only 35 games this season, and clearly there's a reason for that. And it's a very interesting team. I've already seen it. So starting at the point guard spot, the highest overall on this team is Brandon Jennings. He's only 21 years old here, and he's a guy that I think could be a building block for us today. We take a look at his numbers from the rookie campaign: 15.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 5.5, 6 assists. So this is definitely workable. Like, this is a guy that if he develops super well, could arguably be our best player throughout the course of this video. Obviously, time will tell. We have a 38-year-old Earl Boykins here. Probably not a long-term option or an answer. So we're going to look to upgrade that backup point guard option almost immediately. We have Keon Dooling here as well. Now, he is only 30 years old, but he is a 72 overall. I don't know how much better that overall is really going to get, but again, it's not the worst option for year one in the world, but we'll see. Shooting guard spot. We have a 30-year-old Corey Maggette. For me, I just don't think at this point in his career he's going to be a 3-year option for us. The numbers are still there. They're relatively solid. 3-point shooting's pretty tough, but again, he's probably a guy that's maybe going to be here 1 year, probably not much longer than that, if that. Behind him, Robin Carroll, whoever the hell you are. We have Michael Redd here, who's 31 at this point. He's a 73 overall. Probably, again, just not going to be a long-term piece. Tom Cook, whoever, I don't know. We have a 29-year-old Drew Gooden on a 5-year, $32 million contract. I don't know how I feel about him being my starting power forward for the entire video, but he's definitely one of the better players on this team. So we'll see. And then Lamont Martin, Bruce Ferguson, Luce Marshall, Jordan Hart. I don't know. Center spot, Andrew Bogut is the second best player in terms of overall on this team. He's on a 4-year, $50 million deal. He's probably a guy that can be here the entire time. For me, I think this is such an interesting era for centers because, the Dwight Howards and the Pau Gasols of the world are obviously super hard to acquire. So, there's a lot of these guys kind of in that middle tier. Andrew Bogut kind of falls into that. He's only 25. He's probably going to be here. Larry Sanders is only 21. It's not a name I've heard in a while. And then whoever the hell Albert Iverson is. I was going over the list. I've gone over this a couple times in like the LeBron era rebuilds. 2KRatings.com actually shows you the players that were actually on this team, but just whatever, couldn't get the rights to them here in 2K, so they're not here. Just a couple of these names right now, just like big names, I'll just read you. Ersan Ilyasova, Luc Richemba, and Mute, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, and Garrett Temple. There's a few others, but they're not nearly as notable. But these guys should hypothetically be here. So we're a little bit of a disadvantage, but again, this team's not necessarily very good right now. So we're going to be making some trades. Our first trade of today's rebuild is going to be coming with the Denver Nuggets, and it is as follows. Earl Boykins, Robin Carroll, and a 2011 second-round pick are heading to Denver for Ronaldo Balkman and a 2013 first-round pick. So that first-round pick, of course, could be a nice trade asset at some point in time. Denver's pretty good, so the pick probably won't be very good. But again, Balkman's going to come in. He's going to be an upgrade at our backup power forward spot. And he's on a multi-year contract, so it feels like a really big kind of win in our first deal here that's going to come with Denver. And we definitely got a few more to come. Real quick, Antonio Daniels is sitting here in free agency. There's not a lot of players on this roster that have even remotely a little bit of value. So I get that he's 35 years old, but he's honestly going to be probably the best backup shooting guard option we have. So there is a free agent signing for you. And our final trade of year one is going to come with the Utah Jazz. Whoever the hell Lamont Martin and Bruce Ferguson are, they're going to Utah, and Ime Udoka coming back here to Milwaukee for 1 season as their backup small forward. Obviously, probably not a long-term answer there at the backup 3, but for 1 season, he's going to be more than serviceable. So, Dooling's going to back up Jennings. We got Daniels now to back up Maggette. Udoka's going to back up probably... Michael Redd's such an interesting one for me because he is expiring. I don't know what sort of value is... Like, if he was a 76, I probably could get something a little bit better. But at this point in time, I mean, he's 2.5 stars. Whoa. I'm not giving up a draft pick. There's no way, because this season we're not going to be good, right? We're not a good team. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So for me to give up some sort of other asset, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. Like, I mean, unless there's a way for like Tim Cook to maybe get me something, like even if it's like a low 70 overall small forward, if they're on a multi-year deal, I'd probably do it. So maybe not our last trade. I'm not giving up a first round draft pick for anybody right now. There's just no way. Mike Dunleavy's also expiring. Rip Hamilton, I'm not giving up a draft pick. So I can get Steve Nash. I know he's 36, but yeah, so for me right now, this just doesn't make a lot of other sense. Maybe it would have been smart to hypothetically trade Red. And I mean, unless anybody wants to give me like a remotely valuable draft pick, which I doubt they do. I didn't see that the first time, I don't think. So, no, not going to happen. All right, man, we're just going to hang on to him. It's probably his final year here. He'll come off the books after. Anybody want to give me anything for like these two who are just not going to be here? If 2K wants to do this and put random auto-generated players in the game, I'm certainly going to take advantage of it. Let's set the rotation. I have a sneaky feeling that we're not going to be a very good team here in year one. Now, I did go ahead and confirm that we do have our first-round draft pick, which, of course, could come back and be very important. So, obviously happy about that. Here's how the rotation's going to work out. Jennings and Maggette going to be our backcourt. Clearly not the weak spot of this team. But, yeah, it's a decent enough backcourt for year one. Michael Redd, we considered trading. Fortunately, just couldn't find a draft package that was really good enough. You got Drew Gooden here, Andrew Bogut, our front court. Bench unit, it sucks. There's no way to sugarcoat it and make this look pretty. It's not a good bench. Keon Dooling, Larry Sanders, Antonio Daniels, Ime Udoka, and Ronaldo Balkman. Rounding out our 10-man rotation, now I will show you, we did make one more trade after we went ahead and I said the final trade. It was just a deal here with the Dallas Mavericks. Eaton Thomas actually came in this deal with the Atlanta Hawks. He's expiring. I didn't have any use for him, so I sent him to Dallas. We picked up a draft pick. Again, makes sense for us. So, a couple extra draft picks. Dog shit team. Probably going to be really bad. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. I had a suspicion we were going to be bad in year one, and unfortunately, or maybe even fortunately, it came true. We won 17 games. Now, real life, this team won 35, so just under actually half of what they actually won, so I don't know. Team just sucked. It is what it is. LeBron first year in Miami is your MVP. Blake Griffin. These awards are always the same in year one, so oh my God. I cannot, this auto-generated image, whatever the hell you want to call it, of George Karl always throws me. I mean, he looks like the Scrooge, does he not? It's insane. Good season from Denver, though. Clearly, we're not worried about the playoffs. That's not going to be a concern of ours. Let's see where we did fall in the standings. We were dead last in the East. Second worst record in the league. The Kings won 12 games. I don't know. I mean, they do have a 68 overall star. I got to do a Kings rebuild. God damn. All right, man. So we are going to be projected the second overall pick, which is, of course, good. Here are the numbers. Jennings was relatively good for us. Drew Gooden, our second leading scorer. Bogut, Maggette. I just think there's like a mixture of like some young talent, like guys like Jennings on this team, and maybe that's honestly even Larry Sanders, if you want to count him. And then some really kind of older guys, like, we obviously picked up Daniels, you got Michael Redd, Maggette in here, who are just probably aging on their way out, all that. So it was the first season that kind of had to happen for the long-term output of this video. Ooh, we have the exact 2011 finals, just a little bit of a different result this time. Holy shit. That's insane. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this offseason because we can finally get in. Oh, Antonio Daniels does call it a career. To potentially some big moves with this team. So Don Nelson, Sam Mitchell, Hall of Fame, Shaq, Jason Kidd, retirements, historic changes, cool. This is a big moment for us. This is kind of a pivotal moment of this video for us. We're currently projected the number 2 overall pick. Is there a way we maybe sneak up, get that number 1 pick? I don't know. No, we fall all the way to number 4, because of course we do. Why wouldn't we? So, we're obviously going to have some options there with that 4th overall pick. Scott, I mean, there's just nothing I can do with those ratings. I know the potential's there a little bit, but in a 3-year rebuild, I don't got time to let Scott Skiles become competent. He's just, you got to go. Let's go. This is a good style for video. It is. I know some of you don't care, some of you do. I won't get them in the next video. My bad. There's just not a lot of coaching options, honestly. There really isn't. So, huge upgrade there at our coaching spot. Number 4 overall pick. I have a guy in mind that I want that's going to fill a very big position of need. I'm sure many of you can figure it out. So, we're definitely going to have to work on a trade, but let's see if we can do it. Okay, we just pulled off a very big trade with the Sacramento Kings. I will read you the deal right here. I'm sure I went back and edited the video so you can see it. But it was basically a bunch of role players or guys that were just never going to sniff the court. Number 4 overall and a 2015 first-round pick for number 1 overall from the 12-win Sacramento Kings. So if you were considering the fact that the guy I was looking for was named Kawhi Leonard, you would be right. He's going to come in here, obviously take over a very big position of need at that small forward spot, and kind of be the new face of this franchise. So 82 overall, Kawhi Leonard. Very excited about having him as a building block moving forward. Brandon Jennings definitely coming back on that $2.5 million team option. That's beautiful. In a different scenario, I typically always pick up, team options just because guys have value, but auto-generated 66, 67, 68 overalls, there's just not a lot of value there, so they can go. Now we look forward to a free agency class where there's not a lot of great players here, but there's some decent players here. So in terms of our free agents, looks like Michael Redd is our only one. I don't know. Maybe we bring him back as a backup to Kawhi, but other than that, it's time to make some more big changes, specifically probably at our starting power forward spot, along with our starting shooting guard spot. So I think Corey Maggette is probably on his way out. We all kind of put that together. Let's see if we can find a trade. We are going to make a trade, but first and foremost, we are making a signing. 25-year-old, 82 overall, J.R. Smith's going to come in here. He's going to be the replacement for Corey Maggette. A little bit younger, higher overall. I'm very happy with this addition to our team. So we're renouncing Michael Redd's nearly $24 million kind of cap hold. Everybody else can go. We are making upgrades to this team. J.R. Smith going to be the first guy coming in here, 2-year with a, it's a player option in the 3rd year, but we won't even get there anyway. So very excited to have JR here. Now it is time for a Corey Maggette trade. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to be relatively smart about this, is do this, but make it lottery protected. So it's still a valuable draft pick, but if we somehow suck next year, again, we're going to hopefully have a better option. So I had a trade in mind. This one with New York actually isn't even that bad. Oh, my trade's kind of gone. Luis Scola is here as an option. Well, actually, none of these were what I was looking for, but this deal with New York actually isn't that bad. I think I can make this work. I mean, Gallo's 6'10". He can play the power forward spot. So you know what? We're going to do this deal. Not the one I had in mind, but the one we're going to take. Gives us a little bit more depth as well. Now we're going to move Gallo to the power forward spot. Takes a few overall hit. I mean, Chandler also goes down 1, but I'd rather have him as the backup small forward. So Gallo going to take over. He's only 22 years old, which is, of course, very nice. Now we've got to build out this bench a little bit. We're good here. We're good here. And I'm going to play Larry Sanders. So getting some backup backcourt guys is really all I'm looking forward towards right now. Shooting guard options are not great. I like JJ Barea, I think would be a really kind of underrated pickup for us. So good depth there, then shooting guard options. So I want to bring OJ Mayo. Has he already been in Milwaukee at this point? No, he hadn't. OJ Mayo was a buck at one point. I know he regresses, but honestly, he's the best option available, and I haven't gotten him in a minute. So you know what? Let's just continue to bolster this bench. OJ Mayo, welcome to the team. All right, we have done a really good job kind of building up the depth we have in this team, building up some of the star power. I'm very excited. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. After a very ugly and disappointing first season here in Milwaukee, we had a fantastic offseason. We were ready to head into our second year, hopefully with a little bit of better momentum, better team, better record, better coach, all that fun stuff. Here's how it's going to look. Brandon Jennings, J.R. Smith going to be, I guess, our new look backcourt. Obviously went ahead and drafted Kawhi Leonard first overall. I can't even believe they gave him Giannis's number. I know he's not here. It's just funny. But he's going to be our starting small forward. We picked up Danilo Gallinari in a trade. Still got Andrew Bogut here as our starting center. The bench unit got 10 times better. I mean, it's just insane. Night and day difference. Wilson Chandler taking over as our 6th man. We obviously went ahead and signed J.J. Barea. OJ Mayo came in as our backup shooting guard. Drew Gooden remains on this team, just now moves to the backup power forward role. Larry Sanders rounding out this 10-man rotation. So I fully expect this team to be much better than last season. I mean, to be fair, it'd be hard to be worse. But I think we can kind of get up there, be in the playoffs, maybe top 4 seed. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. Year 2 has come to an end. It is back-to-back MVPs for Mr. LeBron James. This season, we won 49 games. We lost 33, but definitely trending in the right direction. I can work with this. I can definitely work with this. Kyrie Irving's your Rookie of the Year. He's a Toronto Raptor who went number 2 overall. He actually went number 1 in real life, you understand. Goran Dragic, 6th man of the year. Wow, 18 points a game as a 6th man of the year in this era is pretty impressive. Dwight Howard is your D-boy. Ish Smith, most improved. Scott Brooks, head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, takes home Coach of the Year. I can see we're a 5 seed right now. Honestly, I can live with that. 49 wins isn't the worst thing in the world. It would have been nice to be, I guess, a top 4 seed, 3 seed, whatever you want to call it, but I can live with this. Here's a look at the Western Conference. So let's check out some of the stats on the season. See how everybody played, including our new additions. Kawhi Leonard led us in scoring his rookie season. Brandon Jennings, J.R. Smith, Gallinari, Chandler, Bogut, Mayo, Barea, Gooden, and Sanders. Rebounds a game is going to be Bogut, and assists was Brandon Jennings. So we have a first-round matchup here with the 4-seeded Washington Wizards. You got a young John Wall. You got Nick Young, Jason Richardson, Andre Blatch, JaVale McGee. That's a pretty talented starting 5. I mean, all 80-plus overall starting 5. You got Gilbert Arenas coming off the bench as a 6th man. They're a pretty good team. Definitely are. We are down 2-0 immediately, down 3-0, and we get swept. We get swept in the first round. That's never ideal. There's really no way around that. How'd everybody play? Kawhi was good. Jennings. Bogut was solid. Gallo, I mean, I don't know. Not a lot of production from the bench. It's a small sample size, I know, but heading into the final season of this rebuild, we're obviously going to have to... Ooh, is that the Trailblazers in the finals? We're going to have to make some decisions on this roster and just in general. I don't know why... What? Okay. On what this team is. So we're going to go ahead and do that, obviously. Got to make some big decisions. And I'm fine with that. You know, that's just kind of how these work. So there we go there. Draft lottery, we're not going to have our draft pick. It was lottery protected, kind of as like an insurance policy. Toronto projected the #1 overall pick. Wow, they get it. They're going to have the Anthony Davis, basically, AD and Kyrie. Stauffer's clearly going to be all set here as our coach. So let's head up to the draft. We're not going to have our first. We do not have any other draft picks. I think skipping over the draft is probably fine. Nobody at a rookie scale, maybe besides Anthony Davis, was really going to help this team. Sanders coming back. Jennings coming back. We look at qualifying. Gallinari is going to be entering restricted free agency. We don't really have a lot of money to play with. It's unfortunate, but it's just kind of the reality of the situation. We also don't have bird rights on Gallo, but he's restricted, so the game will let me match whatever it is. So I think if we want to make an upgrade, it's probably going to have to kind of come from within. I don't know exactly what that upgrade is going to be, but I think it probably makes sense to make at least one. Okay, we just pulled off a very big trade with the Miami Heat, and we went ahead and acquired Chris Bosh. This is kind of one of those trades that almost kills two birds with one stone, because we went ahead and obviously acquired a really good player in Chris Bosh. He's going to take over as my starting power forward. We also took away a really good player to maybe one of the biggest threats in the Eastern Conference. So Gallinari, Drew Gooden, 3 first-round picks, all heading to Miami for Mr. Chris Bosh. I thought Gallinari was fine. Also, I re-signed him. I don't know if I showed you that or not, but I went ahead and re-signed Gallo as a 3-year contract. But Chris Bosh, 28 years old, 20-point-per-game player, huge upgrade at that power forward position. Honestly, I think I'm pretty content with just kind of keeping the rest of the team. Maybe one trade. I know OJ Mayo is going to go ahead and regress. It's just unfortunately how this works. So I can maybe make an upgrade. Guy like JJ Hickson, honestly, not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and pick up JJ Hickson. So he's going to come in and be the backup for newly acquired Chris Bosh. And now we just have to find ourselves a backup shooting guard, because the bench is really, really good. Larry Sanders can hopefully still develop. Our shooting guard options are not great. So what I'm going to do is just be a little bit of a world-class asshole and go ahead and sign somebody just to trade them. I know nobody really loves it when I do this, but we can live with it. I need to find myself a shooting guard. So DJ Augustine, welcome to the team for about 2 seconds. How tall is Augustine? Nah, he's only 5'11". All right, DJ Augustine, 2 first-round draft picks. What are my options for shooting guards? Kyle Korver's 31, but he could be a really good shooter off the bench for me. I don't really see many other options. Beno Udrih is not really a shooting guard. Yeah, Aaron Aflalo, but I get Aaron Aflalo a lot. So, you know what? Kyle Korver. I know he's a lower overall, but you know what? He's going to be a really valuable shooter off the bench for me. So, are we all set? Unless there's a Larry Sanders upgrade out there, which, you know, maybe there is. I don't really know, but unless it's like a significant upgrade. Yeah, fuck Kendrick Perkins. I'm good. I'll see you guys at the start of year 3. Last season was great. We had a really solid regular season. We won 49 games after winning only 17 in year 1, but unfortunately the team wasn't really built for some postseason success. So we made some upgrades this offseason. Clearly acquiring Chris Bosh is a huge monumental move for what this team could be. We're seeing some nice development out of Kawhi Leonard. Brandon Jennings overall might have even gone up 1 or 2. And overall wise, we built a juggernaut while keeping the integrity of this bench together. So very excited about what this team could be. Jennings and Smith going to be my backcourt. You got Kawhi Leonard, Chris Bosh, Andrew Bogut here as the rest of the starting 5. Wilson Chandler remains a 6th man. You got JJ Barea, JJ Hickson, Kyle Korver, Larry Sanders rounding out this 10-man team. So, you know what? I think this team has the depth. I think there's quality depth. I think there's star power. I'm super excited about the possibilities. I'll see you guys at the end of the 3rd and final regular season. By far our best regular season record yet at 68-14 here to wrap up year 3. We are feeling very good. We are hoping for some postseason success. It's our time. Russell Westbrook's your MVP. Anthony Davis went #1 overall to the Toronto Raptors. Just an insane rookie campaign. You got Sean Marion as your 6th man of the year. He's in Charlotte. Dwight Howard found a new home in Phoenix. He's your depoy. Jeremy Lin most improved, and so... All right. You know, you think you have a really good regular season. Nope, the 3 MVPs and Scott Brooks and the rest of the team over there in Oklahoma City showed us what a good season looks like. Yeah, it's the greatest record in NBA history. So, you know what? I'm confident, but I don't know, man. I mean, 78 wins is insane. 74 wins. It's just nuts. Kawhi Leonard, Brandon Jennings, J.R. Smith, Chris Bosh, Chandler. I'm surprised Bosh was actually so low. Nonetheless, though, I mean, this team is really, really good. And, of course, thank God we're in the Eastern Conference. So, at a minimum, we won't have to see that super team until the finals. And, yeah, here's a look at our first-round matchup with Cleveland. You got a 90 overall Darren Williams, but... I don't know. We're pretty good. I'd say we're probably the better team here. So this would be our first playoff series win of this video. We sweep. That's always nice. We're moving on to the Miami Heat, who are good. I think we're just... I mean, they have the best two players in the series. That kind of goes without being said. I think we're a more, like, well spread out team. But, I mean, LeBron, Dwayne Wade against us, I don't want to count them out. They're up 2-1 right now. Fuck. Okay. Well, shit. Honestly, I don't think it really matters. Nobody was beating that Thunder team. They didn't lose. They lost one game throughout the entire playoffs. So it sucks. It is what it is. Not every rebuild is rainbows and flowers and sunshine. So this one was fun, though. I think we put together a relatively competent team. If this was like a 5-year rebuild, maybe we could have extended that window a little bit. And for those of you saying, well, why isn't it a 5-year rebuild? Because we get to those over the summertime. So they will be coming, trust me. That's it for me, though, man. I hope you guys still enjoyed. That is... This was fun. This was fun. You know, typically I don't love when we don't win championships, but this was a fun team. I really did enjoy it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed as well. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.